So we get asked a lot, what makes a good development deal? It's a tough question to answer. It depends on a lot of factors, where you're developing, what sector you're developing. So I wanted to do a series on this, and this is part one. This series is going to be focused on ground up industrial development and how you analyze it and some of the things that we look for to determine whether it's a good opportunity or not. The first aspect, which is frankly the number one aspect for all real estate, is location. But with an industrial deal, manufacturing facility or distribution, one of the aspects of location you really want to pay attention to is the population count within a 24-hour truck transit. So essentially, a day's truck drive, how much of the population you can hit. You don't just want to look at the population, you also want to look at what that population spends. So let me give you an example. A deal that we were looking at, within 24 hours we hit approximately 140 million people. And that 140 million people spent annually about $2.4 trillion, which is huge numbers. And let me give you some context with that. In LA, for instance, it's about 1.4 trillion. In Chicago, it's 1.8 trillion. So you want to look at the spending habits of the market that you're in, because when you think about it, you're doing distribution. So these packages that are being ordered by the consumers that are in the market, they're going to your distribution center, and then from there, they're getting shipped out by truck. So that's a huge factor we look at. It's something we pay attention to. It's one of the first things. The second thing is supply and demand. You got to understand what size building you can fit on your land. You're going to get an engineer or an architect to lay it out, and you're going to understand the size building you can put on, how many buildings you can put on. So it's a 1 million square footer. You want to understand the supply in that market for 1 million square feet. You don't want to go into an area where there's a bunch of other 1 million square foot buildings that are available to lease, because you're going to have too much supply. On the other side, you want to check out the demand. The businesses. How many businesses in that market, let's say it's a 1 million square foot building, need 1 million square feet? I can give you an example, a deal we had where it was a 1 million square footer. There were only 2 other buildings in this market that had 1 million square feet, but there were 22 businesses looking to get into this market. That's a great supply demand metric. So just remember with supply, overall vacancy in a market is good to know, but focus on the vacancy for the square feet that you're actually looking to develop. So that wraps up part one of our series. For part two, we're going to be focusing on power, water, and soil, and the type of questions that you want to ask.